Welcome in, race fans, to another round of top tier racing live right here on the Royalty Racing Network. I'm going to be your host tonight. I go by the name of Brandon Massey, where right now we're in our warm-up session. Qualifying has taken place, and we'll get into the qualifying results here in just a minute. But tonight, the drivers of the top tier racing series, well, these guys are going to be tackling Dover in the Gen 4, and I'm super excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to take a look at tonight's race info. Tonight, we're at the Dover Motor Speedway, where right now it shows to be 71 degrees with a relative humidity of 84%, partly cloudy skies with a wind of 15 miles an hour. Right now, the track temperature a little bit on the cooler side at 85 degrees for this concrete mile. It's going to be a lot of fun. If these drivers have any grip at all with the high horsepower, low downforce, this is going to be an absolutely amazing race tonight. We're going to get into the qualifying results here momentarily. The drivers are currently in drivers meeting, and right here you can see the qualifying results. It's going to be Dylan Canova setting the fastest overall lap time at a 22.759. Outside of him is going to be Alex Anderson, Jake Raven, Kenny Kuko, Nick Baum. That's going to be the top five. Robert Altman, Nick Raffini, Zach White, Matt Bayens, Christian Proctor, Davis Shively, J.D. Van Kirk, Jorge Ledesma Jr., Shane Weldon, myself. I'm not racing. I messed up. Drafty Beef, he was helping me work out some technical difficulties. And Robert White, 16 drivers signed in here tonight for what should be an absolutely amazing race. I'm excited about it, race fans. It's going to be a lot better than we had last week with these Gen 4 cars at Chicago Street Course. Well, we've seen just an absolutely dominating performance, but right now, dominating the points within our series, and I believe this is going to be correct, it's going to be Christian Proctor. As you can see him right there in the background, currently leading the points at 382. Right behind him is going to be J.D. Van Kirk, Nick Raffini, right there, 1, 2, 3. And you can see the top 10 remaining right there on the points board as we head into this week here at Dover. Now, we only have a couple more races before we start our championship battle, in which case next week we'll head to Chicagoland in these Gen 4 cars, and then we'll follow it up with Darlington. And then after that, we're going to start our championship run, and we're going to begin at Michigan. That's going to be a fun race for these drivers. Again, high horsepower, low downforce. And then we're going to go to Road America, where we'll see probably last week's winner at the Chicago Street Course. He only runs road course races, so we'll probably see him at Road America. And then we're going to go to Charlotte, Bristol, and then my most favorite track on the circuit, Las Vegas. And all that should make for a fun remaining what will be 7 races after tonight. So I'm super excited about it right now. These drivers are going through their warm-up session. I want to say thank you, Drafty Beef, man, for helping me out. We were having some trouble getting the live up and going, but nonetheless, here we are. We got it up and going, and it's going to be an absolutely fun night. You can see right there, the quickest qualifier on the night was Dylan Canova, and you can see him sitting right there in his number 70. Chevy Monte Carlo. Christian Proctor currently out here, our points leader. I do believe, again, that's unofficial. Jake Raven, Nick Baum, all signed in. We got Nick Baum in that Liquid Death. That's one of my most favorite cars from last week. I'm super excited about being able to watch him and see what that he can do, as well as all the other drivers we have here in the Top Tier Racing Series, Gen 4 Series. I've not got to watch these guys race on an oval, so tonight's going to be completely different. I'm going to be learning all over again. It's going to be a lot different than we had last week. As you can see, J.D. Van Kirk practicing getting on and off of pit road, and that very well in itself could pay dividend later on in the evening. I'm excited for tonight, race fans, and I hope you all are too. We're going to be live right here on the Royalty Racing Network. Again, I'm going to be your host, Brandon Massey, and I want to say thank you for tuning in. We're super excited about tonight. Warm-ups is over. So the fact that warm-ups is over, that means we're going to be getting to our starting grid. And in fact, I'll go ahead and pull it up right now. Dylan Canova starting on pole. Outside of him is going to be Alex Anderson. Rolling off in the third position, number 37, Jake Raven. Starting fourth in the 71 is going to be Kenny Kuko. Starting fifth, driving the number 1 tonight, is going to be Nick Baum. Starting sixth in the number 94, it's going to be Robert Altman. Starting seventh in the 04, Nick Raffini. Starting eighth, driving the number 77, is going to be Zach White. Starting ninth in the number 72 is going to be Matt Bands. Starting 10th, driving the number 13 is going to be Christian Proctor. Starting 11th, driving the number 85 is going to be Davis Shively. Starting 12th, driving the number 22 is going to be JD Van Kirk. Starting 13th, it's going to be the 44, Jorge Ledesma Jr. Starting 14th, it's going to be driving the number 5, it's going to be Shane Weldon. I'm not racing, but starting 16th is going to be the number 2 of Drafty Beef, and then but starting 15th will be the 69 of Robert White. That will be our starting grid for tonight's showdown here at Dover, and I can tell you, race fans, this is going to be a wild one. After last week, I was looking forward to seeing what these Gen 4 cars could do. Again, high horsepower, low downforce. In conversation with a couple of drivers earlier today, I have been told that the right front will probably wear pretty quick, and we hope that it makes for a good race. That's what the drivers have been telling me throughout the day in conversations with a couple of those guys. So these drivers are hoping that the right front wears out, that tire management becomes key. And when you have off throttle time with a high horsepower, low downforce kind of car like this one right here, well, you should get a really good race. The iRacing pace car has took that left-hand turn off the racing surface. That means this is going to put the race control in the hands of Dylan Canova, and we are green here in Dover, Delaware, the concrete mile where Miles the Monster is going to be looking to bite, and we'll see who exactly he can get a hold of. But right now, Canova out to an early lead. Anderson, Raven, Kuko, they go single file right now. You can see Kenny Kuko is working on the inside of the 37 of Jake Raven. That battle is for position. Kenny Kuko going to move to the third spot right there. The battle still rages on amongst these guys right here, though. Jake Raven still trying to get going, it seems like, in that 37 machine, but right now getting a lot of pressure from that one Liquid Death machine driven by Nick Baum. Right now, all these drivers have single filed out. Still no change out front. Right now, we still have Dylan Canova, Alex Anderson. That's going to be 1-2. Kenny Kuko, Nick Baum. Right now, these drivers single file, and that's expected. For me, that's expected until the tires really start to wear. We can start to see some comers, some goers on who wears out their equipment versus who saves their equipment. So right now, this is kind of expected, at least on my behalf. Right now, you got a whole gaggle of cars here. This is going to be Nick Raffini. It's actually going to start with Robert Altman. You can see just him entering the corner right there. So you got Altman, Raffini battling for position. Right now, that low side seems to be the more dominant side right now. I'm anxious to see if that outside line, middle line, right there, you can see the 94. Altman, a little bit of a bobble. Not going to be able to hold that position. It's going to clear in front of Proctor there. Now that battle's going to rage on. Now you got Altman, Proctor, the 72 of Matt Bands right there. Patience, right? And we got 150 laps here tonight. So a lot of patience going on right now. You can see. No change out front. This battle stayed, or this, at least this lead has stayed pretty consistent right now, anywhere from about 2 to 3, say 3.5 tenths, give or take, is the distance between these two gentlemen right here. This is going to be Canova Anderson, and you can see Kuko Nick Baum right there just behind these two guys on the outside looking in right now. The top four only separated by about a mere second, so not too far spread out. And in fact, right now, to say the top 8 is only separated by about 3 1/4 seconds. So one mishap by any one of these drivers up front, and these guys are going to be all over the back. Right there, we just seen that one live. We're gonna go back and see if we can't catch exactly what happened there. Very rare do we get a caution, or at least an accident right there on screen. You can see the 94 kind of okay. The 94 gets the wall. Yeah, the 94 gets the wall. The 72 just absolutely nowhere to go. I believe that said 72. I'm going to go back. Oh, well, wrong button. I'm going to pause this right here for the time being. So we're going to be on board Robert Altman. We're going to see right here. This carries a lot of momentum off. Yeah, just absolutely nowhere to go for the... Oh, he gets tagged again. That's not the way that you want to start your day. At least not 10 laps in. Minor repairs going to be on the 72, though. It's going to be Matt Baines. So minor repairs on the front end of that race car. It shouldn't be too awfully damaged. So no change out front. These drivers are staying out. So right now, Dylan Canova, Alex Anderson, Kenny Kuko, Nick Baum, Jake Raven. That's going to be the top 5. Nick Raffini just outside the top 5 looking in. Christian Proctor, Davis Shively, JD Van Kirk, Zach White. That's going to round out the top 10. Drafty, because he's been down there helping me. He's working his way through the field, up 5 spots right now. It's going to be 11th. Shade Weldon, Robert Altman, Matt Baines, Jorge Ledesma Jr. That's going to round out the 15 drivers we have currently on the racetrack. So one caution down, 11 laps in. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back here with all the racing action live from Dover Motor Speedway. So the iRacing pace car has taken a sharp left-hander. That's going to put the control of the field back into the hands of Dylan Canova, where we are back underway right here live from the Dover Motor Speedway. A nice jump by Dylan to be able to get somewhat of a commanding lead. But right now, the battle for second rages on. Kenny Kuko looking to take over that spot. It's not going to be able to. A little bit of a Bobble on exit there is actually going to fall right back in the line. Really good looking race car there. Those chrome numbers really pop on the side of that race car. At least at one point in time I thought they were chrome. I could be wrong. Yeah, no, they are. Nova, Anderson, Kuko, Bomb, 1, 2, 3, 4. Raven now has assumed the 5th position over Proctor. You can see Proctor's putting a lot of pressure on the back bumper. Oh, nice little contact, nice little bump there. You see Proctor's putting all kinds of pressure on the back end of Jake Raven right now. I believe Proctor has a little bit faster of a race car right now than what Jake's got. Jake's done everything he can to hold on to it. We'll keep an eye and see if Proctor's able to get around him. Again, Canova had a little bit of a commanding lead. He was actually out to about 2.5, 3/10. In fact, he's right back there again. As you can see, the 67 of Anderson, really high, wide, and handsome on exit right there. Tells me he's pushing the car, getting everything out of it he can get. Kenny Kuko to the very bottom. Yeah, that 67 seems really, there's a caution is out. It's going to be number 2. Looks like there was an incident back here with Jake Raven. We're going to go find out right now just exactly what that incident was. And you can see here comes Jake. Here comes Christian Proctor. Jake a little bit of about a lane or so up. Yeah, just Christian gets in there on the back bumper. And when you do with this low down force of a car, just going to really upset them. Although, not a lot of damage. In fact, I don't think there's going to be any damage done to either one of those race cars. It's going to be 100% repairable for both of those drivers. The only thing that lacks for them now is going to be track position. The track position is going to be completely 100% neglected for both of those drivers. Canova, Anderson, Kuko, Bomb, Raffini. That's going to be 1 through 5. We're under our second caution, 19 laps down. We are back live once again from Dover Motor Speedway, where we are under our second caution. And right now we're going to have 21 laps down. Nova, Anderson, Kuko, Baum, Raffini. That's going to be the top 5. So the lights is out on the iRacing pace car. That means we're going to get this race back underway. Currently right now, 21 working lap number 21, 20 laps down of the 150. That's going to give us about 131-ish or so laps to go right now. The only meat bossy on the track is going to be Jorge Ledesma Jr. The 44 machine. Cars off. Going to put the field in the hands of Dylan Canova. Again, last restart, he had a really good jump. Let's see if he's able to do it again. And in fact, he will. The green flag is back out. We are back underway here in the Top Tier Racing League. Really good run for Anderson coming off the corner, though. Anderson had an amazing run off turn 2, just wasn't able to do anything with it. You can see these cars are just squarely on exit. That's a lot of fun to watch. Right now, that tells me these cars are an absolute handful. We've not had really a long enough run to see the tires wear. So far, right now, the top 9 has not been on pit road. The first car that has been on pit road is going to be this gentleman right here in the number 72. He's been on pit road. So has the 5. Jane Weldon, Jake Raven. We know some of these guys was involved in an accident. See the battle for the lead races on. It's still Canova, Anderson, Kuko, all within a half second of each other. This is a really good race we have going. Nick Raffini, he was up inside the top 10 at one point in time, I do believe. Right now, he's riding in the 6th position, just behind JD Van Kirk. Look at this mess. We got 4 cars right here. You got the 2 of Drafty Beef. He's been working himself up through the field. Right now, the biggest mover is Drafty. He's up a total of 9 positions. And then he's followed up by the 85, Davis Shively, Christian Proctor. Matt's right here. He's going to have a pretty good run on Christian. He's going to be able to hold his corner. In fact, he will. He'll hold the quarter panel. He'll clear for position. Nicely done. It's textbook. Let's see if he gets crossed over. In fact, Christian's not going to take a look. He's going to let the 72 go. So the 72 is working himself back through the field. We know he was involved in a little bit of an accident earlier in the race. It was a good battle. You can see right there on the 5 machine. But I believe that's pronounced Slowick stuff, but I could be wrong. And I hope that I'm not. As you can see, changing up in the top right-hand corner, sponsor of tonight's race, the Slowick Stuff 150. You can see it on the side of that 5 machine right there. See, Kuko's dropping really far off the pace for some reason. I'm not sure what happened. He was able to start putting a little bit of pressure on Anderson, but right now I wonder if his tires provided they've not been on pit road. They're logging 31, now working lap 32. Makes me wonder if the tires are starting to give way, but right now the battle for the lead starting to heat up because Anderson's starting to put a little bit of pressure on the back bumper of Dylan Canova. He's got it within about 2.5 tenths, does Anderson. And as soon as I say that, it goes back out to a little over 3 tenths. I think right now, the right front, the tires are starting to wear because one of the guys on the move right now is Nick Raffini. He's up a couple of spots since the restart, and he's running a very, very different line, but it's working. He's kind of egg shaping and diamonding these corners. He's entering really low, letting the car work itself up, and then just pinching the exits. Not so much that time. Let's see if he does it again in 1 and 2. He's going to enter low. The car is going to drift up. You can see about middle of the track. And then he's just going to diamond it back off. It should help him generate some run, at least some speed anyway. You can see he's starting to close in on the back bumper of the 1 here. He didn't do it as much that time, but he's going to get a good run off here. I heard somebody blow up or something happened back there. I'm not sure who it was. Three wide. That's not what you want to do here at Dover. 3 wide at Dover is not going to work out. That was Proctor, Drafty, Jake Raven. All decided to go 3 wide there for a moment. I'm going to get back here to this battle right now. I think this is one of the closest battles we have on the track right now. Raffini's got the ideal line. In fact, he's going to be able to carry a lot of momentum off. He should be able to clear here. In fact, he will. So move Raffini up to 4th. Want to take a look at the leader's last lap time versus his last lap time after he's now made that pass. Let's see. It might take a couple of laps to take itself out. Right now, the fastest car on the racetrack is our current race leader, Dylan Canova. The last time by ran a 23.69, 23.69. Nick Raffini shows me to be right now matching lap times with Alex Anderson within about a couple of hundredths. So they're pretty much matching lap times. Is Raffini and Alex Anderson in second. Raffini's about 2 tenths quicker, give or take, than Kenny Kuko. So separated by about 7 tenths is Raffini and Kuko. So we're going to see if he's able to reel him in. The next battle for position is going to be right here. Christian Proctor is going to be looking to get around Jake Raven. I'm trying to figure out, race fans, if the dirty air with these cars is really starting to, if it's really a matter. It seems like that these guys can close in within distance, but then they lose about 3.5, 4 car lengths. No change out front. Canova, Anderson, Kuko. Raffini is hot. Kenny Kuko is going to have a good run off the turn 4 here. He's going to be able to clear for the 3rd position. Right now, the man on the move is Kenny Kuko. Right now, positions 1, 2, and 3, all matching lap times right now. The fastest of the 3 is Alex Anderson. He's gotten to the back bumper of Dylan Canova. That last time by, about a 10th and a half quicker, was Anderson over Canova. This battle is heating up for the lead, 45 laps in. As you can see it right there, race fans. Anderson, the closest he's been all evening long. Putting the pressure on Dylan Canova. The battle for the lead is going to rage on. Lap cars might play a little bit of a factor. In fact, Altman's just going to get up out of the way. Great job by him. You can see the 77s just going to move to the bottom, let these leaders go. It's a great job by Zach White there to let them guys go. You can see this battle races on. Is Anderson going to be able to get his quarter this time? In fact, he will. He's going to be able to pull even. He's got to hold the quarter. I don't know if he's going to be able to quite get there. He's going to be even door. Drag race down the backstretch. Really good battle for the lead right here. They're going to have to get this figured out and settled because Raffini, he's going to be able to close in. He's about 2.5 seconds back. These leaders keep running side by side. He's logging about 0.4 of a lap quicker is Raffini. You can see he's working himself around the lap traffic back there right now. Not quite clear. Wasn't able to get clear was Anderson. He tried. He thought he was going to be able to. Wasn't. In fact, he should be able to this time. He will. So what was about a 3.5, 4 lap battle has allowed Anderson to go to the top. New race leader, 50 laps in, working lap 51. About 100 even laps to go now. He's going to get to lead and he's going to come to pit road. Not a bad call. This is not a bad call at all. You got the lead. You're the first. You know you're the first one down pit road in terms of leaders. Not a bad call. We'll see how the green flag stops shake out. That's going to turn the race lead back over to Nick Raffini. I can tell you, long run speed wise, Dylan Canova race leader. Sorry, long speed wise though. Nick Raffini has long speed run. He's still under 24-second lap times, and they're all within 100th of each other every single lap. The lap before last was a 23.91. The last lap was a 23.92. He's going to bring it to pit road this time. I believe Nick's got a really good long run car. If this thing stays green, he might be one to keep an eye on as this thing continues to play out here. As you can see, there's Dylan Canova on pit road right now. Everybody's been able to get on off pit road. So we're in the midst of a green flag cycle of pit stops right now. The current race leader is still Nick Raffini. He's now he's going to miss his box. Okay, maybe he's not. Am I? Race fans at home, tell me I'm not crazy, right? I could have swore, hey, it's not for me to worry about. That was insane. Zach White's coming to pit road. You can see him right here. He's been on off pit road. Wait a minute. Zach's missing a bumper. And I thought he had one just some laps ago. So I'm not exactly sure what happened to him. I didn't get a notification on it. If I did, I missed it. So that should, once Robert Altman hits pit road, this should turn the race lead back over to this gentleman right here, Alex Anderson. And in fact, he's put quite a bit of distance between himself and Canova, who was dominating this race for the first portion. Is going to be roughly, say, 2.5, 3 seconds behind Anderson. Kenny Kuko back to what will be third. Again, right now, the only driver that's not hit pit road, and he was in fact on pit road lap 19, is Robert Altman, and you can see right there, no front bumper on the front end of that car. Now, that very well could be a visual glitch. I don't think that it is. Zach White has got a pit road penalty. $57 laps down, working lap 58. We're coming to 90 to go here very quickly. So the distance between Anderson and Canova is it's shrinking, right? It was 2.5 seconds. Now it's down to about 2. Kenny Kuko, Nick Ruffini. I want to keep an eye on this 04. I really think he's got some long run speed in that race car. So the green flag cycle has separated these drivers out. So provided that they have separated themselves, JD Van Kirk looking to unlap himself, and in fact he'll be able to do so. It's going to put him back onto the lead lap. So Anderson has caught, nearly has caught Altman. You can see right there, Altman goes in that number 94 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle machine right there. So this is going to give the race lead back to Anderson. With about a 2-second difference between him and Canova. Right now, Jaffe trying to stay on the lead lap. So he's going to be fighting. I don't think anybody wants to see a caution, but if they do, the one guy that would be Jaffe. He's just going to move out of the way of the leader. Just let him go. Class act right there by that man. So we seen this earlier when Canova was out front. Anderson held that distance between him and then was race leader Canova, and so far it's not really shrunk. It's about 1.8, 1.9. You can see there comes Kuko. Canova just exiting the corner, so about a half straightaway between them two cars, if that much distance. Ruffini very quickly closing in on the back bumper of Kenny Kuko, so that'll be a battle. I'm going to guess and say here in about the next 7, 8, 10 laps. Now, Altman might be onto something. We'll see how this strategy plays out, but because again, the last time he was on pit road was lap 19. I'm going to suspect, based off the leaders themselves, lap 51, 52, 50, 53, that's going to be Anderson, Canova, Kuko, and Ruffini the last times they were on pit road. I'm going to assume that about a 50 to 53 lap stint is what these guys are going to be able to get out of these race cars. That being the case, that tells me the pit road for what would be the last stop to get to the finish will open again, or at least, to get to the finish about lap, say, 101, 102 to 106 area. Nova very quickly catching Anderson, though. He's gotten the lead down. He's actually been able to, he's shaved several tenths off, actually about a half second, to be honest. These lap cars, though, this is not the ideal place for Canova. If you're hoping these lap cars will just kind of move over and let you go now that the leaders already got by, not race you too hard. In fact, he's able to get around him there, so no lap cars between him and the race leader right now. That leads down to about 1.2 seconds. You can see here's Anderson, here's Canova. They're on the same straightaway. Within a half second of Kuko is Nick Raffini. So we got a couple of battles that we're going to have to keep an eye on. Canova, Anderson, Raffini, Kuko. So the top four cars got a battle going on right now. Running by himself, no pressure from anywhere, is Nick Baum, his Liquid Death Chevy Monte Carlo. Jake Raven currently 6th, Matt Bain 7th, Robert Altman 8th. Davis Shively has just actually went around him for 8th. That'll put Altman 9th. Christian Proctor is going to be back here in the 10th position. That'll round out the top 10. Van Kirk, Jafty, Weldon, Zach White, Jorge Ledesma Jr., Robert White. That'll be the remaining rest of the field. So just when Canova starts to close that gap, Anderson's actually able to extend it back out. He's got it out to about 1.3, 1.4 seconds. We'll keep an eye on these guys. Keep an eye on this battle here for the time being. We can see Nick going back to that line like he did that last run, right? That actually is going to actually help him. That's going to put Kuko in a really weird spot, catching that car. He caught the lap car in an awkward position. Actually going to allow Raffini to close that gap by a couple of car lengths nonetheless. See, Drafty gets up out of the way. That was a weird exit for the 4, though. 0-4. He's actually going to lose maybe a car length and a half versus what he had. No change out front. Anderson, Canova, Kuko, Raffini. That's still the top 4. This is the closest Dylan Canova's been to the back bumper of that 67. He's got it within about 1.1-ish or so seconds. Green flag cycle kind of separated these guys out. Trying to keep an eye on the battles that we have going on right now. The battles is between race leader Dylan Canova and Alex Anderson. And then the next battle behind them is within about 0.2 of each other, and that's going to be Kenny Kuko and Nick Raffini. That's where the battles are right now. And there you can see Kenny Kuko moves up. Probably playing the points game. Going to let Nick go. So Nick's going to be able to clear for 3rd. Now, again, I believe, again, this is personal opinion, but this is based off the information given just from the first green flag cycle. These drivers' pit windows are going to open to be able to get to the finish between lap 102 to 106. Nick Ruffini, I believe, has had one of the faster long run cars throughout the day. Right now, Alex Anderson's laying down some really good laps at 23.67. Ruffini's a little bit quicker than Canova. We'll keep an eye on the lead. Right now, it's under 6 seconds back to Ruffini. It's actually extended out to about 1.6, 1.7 over Canova. No change out front. Anderson, Canova, Ruffini, 1, 2, 3. .86 laps down, now working lap number 87. No change out front. Alex Anderson still our leader. Dylan Canova second. Nick Ruffini third. Kenny Kuko fourth. Nick Baum has now since moved in to the 5th position. In fact, he's been there for quite some time. The battle, though, to the leader is slimming down for Nick Ruffini. It was at about 5.8. It's now down to about 5.2. 5.3. He's actually been able to shave off a half second. And when I take a look at the leader's lap times right now, the fastest guy, one of the fastest guys on the racetrack, is Nick Ruffini. Out of the top 5 cars, he is the fastest car on the racetrack. It's not by a lot, but he is, in fact, one of the faster cars on the racetrack. I suspect pit road to open here in about 10 to 12 or so laps. That should get the race leaders to the finish. To see who's going to be able to solidify themselves with a race win here. Right now, Miles the Monster has been relatively tame tonight, race fans. We've not seen him reach out and bite anybody. If there's anything about Dover that we know, Miles will just reach out, grab you, chew you up, spit you out, throw you around. That's one of the things about this racetrack that I absolutely enjoy. Got to visit this facility back. I want to say it was probably 2020. 2020, it wasn't 21, that was during COVID. 2019 maybe area, with the several races that year. Dover, I know I've been out there. It's an absolute, it's a beautiful facility. I want everybody to know. Wouldn't mind going back out there and visiting this racetrack again. So we're just patiently waiting for green flag cycles to start all over again. This has one of those super long green flag run feels to it, and you can see 3 cars right here together. Nova's actually caught to the back bumper of the 85. These cars have been placed a lap down. Anderson, Canova, Raffini, Kuko, Baum, Raven, Shively, Proctor. That's 1 through 8. These green flag cycles and long green flag runs has allowed Alex Anderson we have completed lap 99. We're on lap 100. That's going to put us down to about 51 to go. Anderson still shows the way. One of the quicker cars out on the racetrack right now, at least amongst the top, say, 5. And that will draw race leader Alex Anderson to pit road. Alex Anderson, Kenny Kuko both come to... Uh-oh, Kenny. No flag, or at least I don't see one yet from race control. He was hard on the binders right there to get that race machine slowed down. Canova coming to pit road. Nick Raffini short pitted. For you race fans at home, I missed this. Raffini hit pit road at lap 97. This is a strategy call I was not prepared for. He's caught me off guard. Great job, Nick. He's caught me off guard. I didn't catch the fact that he come down pit road. I was looking amongst my leaders and I didn't see Raffini. I know he has a good long run car, but he short pitted the pit window by, I'm going to call it 3 laps. So I want to see where this shakes him out at. So Anderson has assumed the second position with race leader Nick Baum down on pit road. I want to see how this shakes out for Raffini, because he was third once the pit cycle started. It's actually helped him with a little distance between him and Canova. Right now, that distance is about a second. That was close. That could have been disaster. So now that the green flag cycles has taken place, that's going to put Anderson back out in the race lead. And he's going to be in that race lead over about 5 seconds over Canova. The only problem that I see with short pitting here is how aggressive this racetrack is on tires. Actually, right now, Raffini running the quicker lap times out of the 2 leaders in front of him. We'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, 22.8s to 22.9s is Nick Raffini right now. That's going to be to Canova Anderson. Kenny Kuko back here, about 11 seconds behind race leader Anderson right now, riding in the 4th position. Jake Raven 5th, Nick Baum 6th. He was the last car on pit road at lap 104. That means he's going to have 4 to 5 fresher lap tires than the rest of the guys in front of him. I'd say 20-some seconds is going to be hard to overcome. Some of these guys are going to need a caution, in my opinion anyway. The battle for the seconds now starting to heat up. About a second, little less than a second between those 2 drivers is Canova Raffini. Christian Proctor back here. That 13 machine. Hello Kitty on the hood of it. I believe that's Hello Kitty. I could be wrong. Hope that I'm not. Davis Shively is going to be riding in the 8th position. Again, I want to say thank you to Drafty for helping me figure out the going live situation we had with YouTube and trying to get connected with the stream keys, etc. So we'll work those bugs out before next week, before we head into, I believe, is it Chicagoland? Taking a look at lap times right now, Canova's a little bit quicker than Anderson. That lead has shrunk by about a second and a half. He's actually grown the lead over Canova, or over Raffini. Right now, ever since Anderson has taken control of this race, there's been no looking back. He did that around lap 49.50 area, and as soon as he took the lead, he went straight to pit road, and he's been in command of this thing ever since then. What an absolutely stellar performance that Alex is having right now. Canova. We're going to take one more commercial break. Leaders have just completed lap 114, working now 115. We're going to take one more commercial break, and we'll get right back here to Tricia's Learning Center's Gen 4 series here at the Top Tier Racing League. We'll be calling the remaining, say, 35-ish laps to get us to the finish. Anderson leads. So while we were in commercial break, I'm not 100% sure just exactly what happened, but Dylan Canova is not on the racetrack. So I'm not 100% sure exactly what went down. I don't know if maybe he had a packet loss or whatever the case, but that has allowed Nick Ruffini to take over the second spot. Kenny Kuko third, Jake Raven fourth, Nick Baum fifth. And again, I'm not exactly 100% sure what happened to to Dylan Canova. But right now, Nick Ruffini is laying down really, really good lap times and trying to reel in race leader Alex Anderson. That last time by, Alex Anderson ran a 23.92 to a 23.88. So just shy of a tenth quicker is Ruffini, as we're quickly and rapidly approaching 25 to go. Anderson, Ruffini, Kuko right here. Raven, Baum, Christian Proctor is now in the sixth position. Davis, Shively, Matt Baines, Drafty up to ninth. JD Van Kirk 10th. You can see Shane Weldon there in the 5 machine riding in 11th. Again, Canova not showing anywhere on the racetrack. Right now, race leader Alex Anderson is pacing himself. Lap times have pretty much steadied out between him and Ruffini. Jake Raven's pretty quick though. See Nick Baum, he's the one car right now that has the freshest tires on the racetrack. Currently in that 5th position. Let's go in. Well, let's go inside the lap. That's inside lap with race leader Alex Anderson, and you can see a little bit tight on the exit of 4 there, just about bit the wall. Was able to check up. One thing that stood out to me when we was on board riding with Alex Anderson there was how bright, and the fact of how bright that turn 1 entry is right there. Is a little bit of a light, kind of a bright sunbeam beaming through right there. We're quickly approaching 15 to go here. Again, lap times between Anderson, Raffini's mellowed out. 23.89 to a 23.90. That's pretty much as dead heat as you can get. So not really much difference between them two drivers right there. Jake Raven's actually been a little bit quicker than the rest of these guys. He's about 14.5 seconds behind current race leader Alex Anderson. Pinicuco right there, third. Solid run for him so far. So 14 laps to go. If you're Alex Anderson, the one thing you do not want to see is going to be a caution. You're going to hope you can just log these next 13 laps, get to the white flag, bring this thing home. Really good turnaround though for some of these drivers after last week. Raffini, Kuko, Raven, these guys, some of these guys had some a real rough outing last week at the Chicago Street Course. Been able to turn their luck around. Anderson, Raffini both logging 23.98s that last lap, so just virtually matching lap times as these two drivers. When Anderson gets to the start finish line this time, it will be 10 laps to go. The 10 to go here in Tricia's Learning Center, Top Tier Racing Gen 4 Cup Series. Nick's still giving it everything he has out of that 0-4. That's 100% for sure. Laps to go. You can see race leader in heavy lap traffic right there. Needs to make quick work of these guys. Easy now. Be able to get around the 72 of Matt Baines. Just an exceptional performance for Anderson. Again, took over the lead, lap 48-49 area, and once he did, he hit pit road, and he's been able to maintain and control the race from that point forward. Nice rebound from last week from Nick Raffini. One of the faster long run cars that I've seen here tonight. said we'd have to keep an eye on him, and in fact, he's been able to work that lead down under 4 seconds. Just unless there's a caution, just going to run out of laps, but it's going to be a solid day of racing for Raffini for sure, as well as the 71 of Kenny Kuko for sure as well. Jake Raven, Nick Baum, Christian Proctor, Davis Shively, Matt Baines. Drafty's worked himself up into the side inside the top 10. He's currently riding 9th. JD Van Kirk 10th. That rounds out the top 10. 4 laps to go. Coming to 3 laps to go is race leader Alex Anderson. Just wants to get around here a couple more times so he can see that white flag. He's been able to put that car just about anywhere on the racetrack that he's wanted it to go. So when Alex Anderson gets through turns 3 and 4, he will be seeing the white flag here in Tricia's Learning Center Gen 4 Series, the Top Tier Racing League. And in fact, white flag is out for Alex Anderson. 1 lap to go here at the Monster Mile in Dover. It's been an overall great performance. Can't take anything away from him. Led the back little over 100 laps, or right about it. Going to be somewhere in the 90s, I would venture to say, but that will be checkered flag. Alex Anderson will win Tricia's Learning Center Top Tier Racing from Dover Motor Speedway. Nick Raffini takes it home 2nd. Kenny Kuko crossing a line there will come home 3rd. There comes Jake Raven 4th. Nick Baum 5th. So what a great race that it was. It was actually really entertaining. Several battles throughout the night. And the top 3 will come up there and they'll park. I appreciate that. I'm going to stop it right there. No, actually, we'll go to quarter. Here's the results. Alex Anderson, Nick Raffini, Kenny Kuko, Jake Raven, Nick Baum, Christian Proctor, Davis Shively, Matt Baines, Drafty, JD Van Kirk. That's going to be the top 10. Shane Weldon, Robert Altman, Dylan Canova, Zach White, Jorge Ledesma Jr., and Robert White. And myself not taking laps because I've been in the booth. Again, I'm not 100% sure what happened to Dylan. Maybe we can ask one of these guys to finish inside the top 3 to see if potentially what may have happened. See if we can get Kenny up here.
Hey, did.
Hey, Kenny, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you, brother.
Hey, man, I tell you what a solid performance, right? A big rebound from what you faced last week, been able to come home 3rd. Just ran out of laps there at the end, but able to bring your machine home in 3rd. Take us through your night.
Yeah, it was a solid night altogether for our team. Obviously, revved up. We've had a 1-2-3 finish there, so huge on the team points front. I got humbled for sure this week. Usually my tire saving is pretty good, but I could not figure it out, and I was burning my right front up. So definitely got humbled on that aspect of it, but can't complain to come out here with a 3rd, especially only completing 4 corners last week before it got totaled. So I'll definitely take this 3rd place, revved up 1-2-3. So yeah, hopefully get this momentum going as we get closer to the playoffs and start knocking off some good finishes like today.
Yeah, now when we talk about the playoffs, we're only a couple of races away, right? I think we head into Chicagoland next week, I believe it is. I tell you for sure. And in fact, yes, we are heading to Chicagoland, and then we have Dover just shortly after that. So after turning around from last week, been able to bring home a solid third place tonight with playoffs just off into the sunset, not that far away from us. What's the thoughts in going into Chicagoland and maybe even Darlington the week after?
I think going into these next, well, I guess these last, what do we got? 2 more, I think, something like that, 2 or 3. So with these last 2, really just get solid finishes. If I can knock out top 5s, that'd be huge for the points wise. Obviously, getting wins to grab the 5 bonus points would be huge. But just gaining a couple positions points wise, just to get the 1 or 2 extra points to start the playoffs with, that's, you never know if it's going to come down to the 2 points, 1 point. So just if I can knock off some wins, that'd be cool. But really focus on finishing the races, just gain some positive momentum and try to gain a couple positions in the standings before the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you, great job tonight, man. We kept an eye on you throughout the entire evening and the run that you've been able to put together. And I talked a little bit on last week and just kind of how that was abysmal for a lot of drivers, but to come into Dover, the concrete monster mile, and bring it home third is just an amazing job. I'm certain that you probably got some friends, family, maybe even some sponsors you'd like to give a shout out to. So go ahead and take the time to do that, brother.
Yeah, sure will. I got to thank Tricia's Learning Center for being the title sponsor this year. They've helped out a lot. Everyone at Revved Up Racing joined their team this season, and they've become pretty good friends with them. So it's been fun there. I got to thank Drafty JD, and now Nick Raffini is our newest admin guy this week. So without them and their help, we wouldn't have this league going. Obviously, you and Royalty Motorsports for putting on this show for everybody every week. Other than that, yeah, just everyone that helps out, huge part. All our drivers tonight was a solid showing for the league, I think, with only 2 yellows and 150 laps. So it was a great night for the league.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 2 yellows, 150 laps on a concrete, racetrack with a high horsepower, low downforce machine like the Gen 4 is a great night. Well, brother, I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me. Go celebrate that third place finish. I'll get you down there to your team for that 1, 2, 3 so y'all can celebrate. And I'll see you next week at Chicagoland.
Yep, right on, man. Hopefully we'll talk to you soon then.
So that will be third place finisher, Kenny Kuko. And what an amazing job. Again, he talked about being able to turn the evening around, much like he was able to do from last week, and put a solid finish together. Nick, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do. How's it going?
Well, man, hey, listen, if it's as good for me as it is for you, I'm telling you, I'm having a good time. I watched you throughout the night, and I'm going to be honest. I had you as my kind of long run, kind of dark horse kind of pick. I'm not gonna beat around the bush about it, man. I was watching lap times, and you had one of the quicker long run cars. At least I felt like you short pit by about 3 laps before the rest of the field, about lap 97 to get to the finish. Take us through that call in the strategy to be able to get that pit, to get on pit road, off pit road, and the ultimate decision behind it that was able to bring you home a second place finish tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the strategy was, and I got to be upfront too, is I had the pit wall calling me in. They're like, hey, I think this is the move. So a little bit of team strategy, but at the same time it was a little bit of a confirmation, someone looking at the lap times and everything, seeing exactly what I was seeing. And, I was a little late on that first pit stop. I think it kind of cost me. I think I was saving the tires a little bit better. So I think coming in, getting those fresh tires, putting a couple of good laps down was going to put me in a good position. And I think I got within about a second or so of Dylan when he came out of his pit on that last stint too. So I knew that was going to put me in a good position. So it worked out.
Yeah, I think once you came off pit road and then when Dylan cycled out for his green flag stop, it was actually about a second and a half. So I had made mention, during the podcast, I wanted to see it just exactly how well that strategy played out. And I'm not sure exactly what happened to Dylan. I don't know if he had a packet loss or whatever the situation may have been, but I noticed he had started falling through, and that kind of opened the door for you, teammate Kenny Kuko, to be able to position yourselves into a solid top 2, top 3 position. I think overall, though, in the earlier part of the night, you had the fastest on-run car. I think just kind of fell a little bit short. Started matching lap times there towards the last, I'm gonna say 5-10 laps with race leader Alex Anderson there. So just take us through overall the night, and then heading into Chicagoland next week, Darlington, and then we're in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that this week was going to be a critical week. Last week was a little bit of a disappointment points-wise for me, especially this week. How this race played out for my competitors. It was a night to make up some points in the standings. So I was pretty glad that I was able to pull it through. I was holding on to hope that I might be able to pressure for the win and get that first one under my belt, but just wasn't calling my number tonight. But Dover's always kind of been pretty good to me. I don't know why. It's not like I love the track more than most other ones. If anything, I'm just a little bit more nervous about it. It's a track that can punish you. Maybe that's why I'm a little bit better with it, as I respect it a little bit more. But it's big going into Chicagoland next week. It's a track that, anything goes. It's going to be wide open. I think that these tracks where, it's not those one intermediate tracks. I think that it's a little bit more of a disparity, but those intermediate tracks, anyone can win. Anyone can be fast. You got to stay clean.
That's it, right? It's a matter of staying clean. And Chicagoland's a place that, just being able to do that's going to play dividend. But when we get to Darlington, to me, that's the wild card race before we start playoffs. Is Darlington, and well, it goes by the name Too Tough to Tame. So with Miles the Monster here in Dover in the track Too Tough to Tame at Darlington, maybe you put a pretty solid run together the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I'd love to be talking with you the next couple weeks, that's for sure. And keep bringing home these top 3s, and maybe by the end of the season I can bring home a first place.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure you have some friends, family, maybe some sponsors you'd like to thank, man. So go ahead and give them a shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. The team over at Revved Up, I definitely got to throw kudos their way every week. I got my family, wife, and my daughter, and everyone who makes this possible in the family. It takes a village. But and last but not least, throw it up to you for the broadcast, and I'll be looking forward to watching it tomorrow morning.
Absolutely, man. Well, I want to say congratulations again on that second place finish, and we'll see you next week at Chicagoland.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
You too. That was second place finisher Nick Raffini, and I'm going to tell you, Nick's knocking on that door, right? This is only my second race with this group, but I'm telling you, he's knocking on the door. I would like to see him grab a win, before the end of the season. I can tell you, he's going to tear the roof off the place if he gets one. Let's see if we can get our race winner in here. Alex, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do. How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm gonna tell you the same thing I just told your teammate down there, Nick. If I'm as good as you are, man, I'm having a good time. I tell you, you take over the lead around lap 48, 49, and then from that point you just did not look back. And as soon as you took over the lead, you immediately brought your race car to pit road, got that Sunoco race fuel, then 4 fresh Goodyears, and just went to work. You put the head down and just logged laps from that point forward and never looked back. Take us through your night here at Dover and ultimately coming out the winner.
Well, I knew my best shot going into the race. Dover's my favorite track, by the way. I should probably preface this with that. I love this place so much. I've gone to the real life race every year since 2022. I love this track. So I knew going into this race that my edge for sure would be tires. So I was just praying to God that it went green. Thank God we had those 2 quick yellows, and then it did go green all the way. But like lap 40, I see that I'm catching